Hey everyone, this is Trevor. You are watching my channel Social Dilemma, and it is September 7th, 2022. And just I do news update from Canada here. And the latest news here is a few days ago, Justin Trudeau, the dear leader of Canada, the admirer of the Communist Chinese Party, and the master of disguises, has decreed that 80 to 90%. So he wants at least 80%. He really wants it at least 80%, but more 90% of Canadians need to be up to date on their COVID vaccinations, which as of today I believe is at least 3 COVID jabs. And up to date in Canada seems to change from 3 months to getting a COVID injection to 6 months to 9 months. The people who run Health Canada here and I don't know, or seem to be in charge of this train going off the cliff. They don't even know what they don't know what they're talking about. They change, flip flop. Well, every 3 months, and up to date now is I'm thinking it's at least 3 COVID vaccinations, and or else Justin will he will bring back all the COVID mandates. Now, right now, he suspended them in June. I think just strictly out of trying to give Canadians an enjoyable summer, since here in Canada we only have 3 months, maybe 3 months at best, to have some nice summer weather. So I'm thinking, in June he lifted them just to kind of make us feel good, get out there and spend a bit of money and whatever. Um, but now that September's around, fall's here, he came out just about September 4th, I believe it was, to say that, 80%, he'd rather have 90% of all Canadians up to date. Or else. Or else what? I mean, well, what does this mean? What does this mean, or else? I mean, he's threatening us. He's threatening. It's like, this is what I don't get about government. It's like a couple adults telling several million adults how to live. So I've issues there. Anyone should have an issue there. What's government? Adults telling other adults how to live. And so what's he going to do? So right now, COVIDs are just suspended. That's all they did. They just suspended all those mandates he had. So once they lift that, people that went back to work, are they going to be allowed to continue to work? Let's say they don't have at least 3 COVID injections. What if they only have 2 or 1 or none? Does that mean these people are now going to be out of work again? I mean, Justin Trudeau has admitted that he doesn't have any economic sense. I'm paraphrasing there. Like he actually used other words, but he basically admitted to he has no economic sense whatsoever. And again, he has admitted to admiring the Chinese Communist parties, how they can turn an economy around on a dime. That's because communism uses extreme violence and force to get what they want done. So I guess that's what Justin, he admires that. It's like, if your ideas require force, your ideas stink. Okay. So that's the latest news update here from Canada. We're just sitting around wondering what is going to be happening in the next month or two. And I see Justin Trudeau's lifting it. The cold and flu season, obviously, here in Canada starts ramping up in October. And, he'll be just ramping up his mandates, his COVID mandates again. Mask mandates, COVID injections to have a job. I mean, this is really serious stuff. And this has been going on, 2.5 years now in Canada. I myself, personally, I'm tired of this. There's a lot more Canadians that are tired of this. And, like, how much more can we take of this? It's like we're the only country in the world right now that's still having severe COVID mandates. I thought Australia and parts of Europe were bad. We're the creme de la creme for, it seems like, despotism when it comes to COVID mandates around the world, here in Canada. So, just a little update there. Justin has come out in this week and said, yes, if 80 to 90% of Canadians can be up to date with their COVID, everything will just be hunky dory. And up to date is at least 3 COVID jabs right now in Canada that I'm aware of. And how much more of this can we take? I for one, I'm tired of this. The economy is crashing all around the world, and just to keep these COVID mandates going here in Canada is it's going to keep everyone, going to keep us down, in all aspects of life. Financially, relationship wise, everything. It's just, we're burnt out here in Canada, and Justin Trudeau. This is a guy who's, he's already had COVID several times, and he's apparently, I'm assuming he's up to date, unless the injections he took were fake. I don't know. I'm assuming he's had at least 3 jabs, and he's had COVID several times. So, I don't know. I want to make these things voluntary. I have maintained for 2.5 years that mask wearing should have been voluntary. Closing your store should have been voluntary. Taking a COVID injection should be voluntary. Everything should have been voluntary. Had I been Prime Minister of Canada, I would have said, hey, there's something going around. If you feel sick, stay home, wash your hands. We're going to come out with some, emergency vaccines. And if you want to take them, please go ahead, by all means. Take it. It should have been all voluntary. So now here we go again, September 2022, and Justin Trudeau and his band of bandits are going to be. I can just feel it. It's in the air. They're going to lift the suspensions on COVID and reinstate all mandates, masks, and you want to go to a hockey game or some kind of sporting event, you definitely have to start showing your vaccination status again, and restaurants and schools and all over the place again. It's just going to be like 2020 all over again, 2021, and right up until, it's still right up until the spring here of 2022. It's going to be like that. It's going to come back, and I, for one, am tired of this. And, I feel like I could add a few more things. Like, this is a news update today for how laws and mandates in Canada, COVID, are going. But I feel like I could talk about a lot more in here. And, another thing is, I'm burnt out living here in Canada. Canada, there's so many other things. I could talk about the firearms. Justin Trudeau in June 2020, he banned the whole thousands of kinds of rifles here in Canada. And then in June 2022, handguns are essentially going to be banned in October 2022. That's going to pass. Justin Trudeau is trying to get rid of firearms in Canada. And the latest thing, too, to add to that firearms, and I made a video about this, maybe go into it a little bit, was the 2 fellas from Saskatchewan, Canada, who, armed with knives, killed 10 people and injured 15. Is Justin Trudeau going to come out and ban black-handled, scary-looking knives? I don't know. So far, he hasn't come out and said that. So what's the difference between a knife and a gun? Well, I suppose when governments start banning guns, it's because they may be planning on doing something really bad. And And, it's easier to, I guess, to defend yourself with a firearm than a knife. But here it just proves that two guys armed with knives easily, well, I don't know easily, but they did kill 10 people and injured 15. And, yeah, so I don't know. Is Justin going to ban knives? Rightfully, he should, since he banned firearms. He should ban knives in Canada. You just have to excuse me there for a second, folks. I just had a large black ant crawling on up my wall there, so anyways, I had to get rid of that. But yeah, so I don't know, what's the difference? What's the difference? He's not gonna ban knives because that's ridiculous, and everybody knows that's ridiculous. But for some reason, firearms, governments don't want citizens to have firearms. Okay, that's for sure. And too bad in Canada we don't have like an American style Second Amendment, and where Canadians can constitutional carry, and good citizens perhaps could have. Well, I'm going to say good citizens would have reduced that numbers of deaths from 10. They would have cut that in half at least. There wouldn't have been so many people dead and injured. And would someone pull out a knife and start killing people knowing that, hey, what if this guy I'm going to go stab has a firearm under his coat? So, yeah, that's a whole nother topic. And I did make a video on that the other day. But today I just really want to focus on just the news of this week. And Justin Trudeau, he's going to reinstate the COVID restrictions again here in Canada, probably come October. And it's a real sad state of events, and it doesn't make me want to stay in Canada. Okay, I gotta go back. I mean, I could make so many. I'm getting so many different topics, I think, in this video, but that's okay. I think. I haven't wanted to stay in Canada since Justin Trudeau invoked the War Measures Act, or he calls it the Emergencies Act, back in this past February 2022. And just to recap, Justin Trudeau and his father, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, are the two prime ministers that I'm aware of in recent time that have invoked the War Measures Act, and now they just changed the name to the Emergencies Act just to make it sound better. But basically, father and son are the only two people who have invoked martial law here in Canada. His father, was he justified in? I mean, the FLQ had murdered several people, and I'm not big. I do not like that martial law. It's a very dangerous power for a government to have. Was Pierre Trudeau justified? Yeah, maybe. Was Justin Trudeau justified in bringing around the same martial law this past February against people protesting against mandates? No, he wasn't. Absolutely. The War Measures Act that Justin Trudeau took this past February was not. It wasn't moral, ethical. It wasn't legal. It wasn't right. He should not have done it. He, maybe gone out and talked to the truckers or anybody protesting. It wasn't just truckers. A whole bunch of Canadians are just tired. We're tired of this. We want to go back to work. We understand if you want, if you're afraid of getting COVID, take the vaccination then. Stay at home if you feel sick. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Should be all voluntary. But Justin, he's also ordered a whole whack of COVID vaccinations for 2023. I believe it's in the tens of millions that he spent on it, upwards, I believe, 80 million. I'd have to check that number again, but he has bought a whole whack of inventory on that, and I guess he wants to use it up. So, yeah, never before have I ever thought of wanting to leave Canada. And, where would I go? I mean, the United States. I do think the United States is a lot better off than Canada. At least the states, like individual states, there's 50 states in the American Union, and when the federal government says, hey, we're going to do this, the states, you'll see some states that say absolutely not. Mr. Federal Government, get out of here. But in Canada, the federal government says jump, and every province says how high, and several provinces, oh, you want us to jump 10 feet? We'll jump 20. So provinces in Canada, people say Alberta was the best province for freedom when it came to the COVID, but I don't see that. They cracked down on their people. You couldn't work. If you worked in a hospital and you didn't want to get a COVID vaccination, good luck. Your job's gone. So it's basically provinces in Canada. There's nowhere to go in Canada that's absolutely free. And in the United States, at least you can. There's different states you can go to. Hey, if this state isn't free, go to another place in the America. Like, just go somewhere in the United States. There's a lot of states in there that are a lot more free than other states in terms of voluntarily choosing your medical procedures. And then there's just other things, the taxes and 2A and whatnot. So I think it is a bastion of freedom in the United States. And I don't know, Canada, I tell you, our firearms are getting taken away. Freedom on the internet, freedom of speech, censorship is just, they're ramping that up in Canada as well, too. And like I say, the federal government in Canada has far too much power. Far too much power. It should be the provinces here in Canada. I mean, if you want to have a more liberal province, well, fine, go ahead. If you want to have a more conservative province, go ahead. I like to think I have a good combination of both liberal and conservative, and then I form it into something called a libertarian or voluntarist. But I mean, at least the provinces should have more say. Because it's different from Alberta to Quebec, from New Brunswick to Saskatchewan. I mean, the people are different. They think the same. The economies are different, and it's just a difference. It differs across Canada. It's a very wide range of different ways of living. But again, federal government Canada says jump, and the provinces all have to say how high. And a lot of that comes down to transfer payments too. So, just there's the lack of freedom in Canada. It's astounding. It's sad, and I hope any American listeners here, please appreciate what you got. Fight for your Constitution. And again, I do admire the states, different states in America that they tell the federal government, just go stick it. I kind of like that. It's a very independent, just an independent. I don't know. I don't want to say rebellious spirit, but it's an independent pioneer kind of spirit. And Canada, I don't see that. I see again in October as Justin Trudeau reinstating all COVID mandates, and Canadians are just going to take it again. So we'll see what happens. And I know this was a lot more than just Justin Trudeau and his COVID mandates, but hopefully I shared some information that you enjoyed, and just thanks for listening. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye.